I'm talking about the press release in this episode and in a series that will follow. Bonjour, hello everyone. I'm Nata, host of the Nata PR School podcast. You're a successful entrepreneur or marketing manager and you're about to launch a new product or service, or you've been selling your goods for quite some time, but you want to learn how to increase your visibility, get known, and reach more clients? At Nata PR, we deal with real clients every day and we'll teach you simple, fun, and honest PR solutions. You'll learn easy steps to combine PR to social media right now. Keep listening and let's get started. Bonjour, hello, and welcome to episode 234 of the Nata PR School podcast. No one is waiting for your press release, my dear PR friends. So this is what I wanted to talk about in this episode. So no one is waiting for your press release. That sounds a bit harsh maybe and a bit extreme, but it's true. Unless you are a star, as I like to say, unless you're Céline Dion or Cirque du Soleil, really, no one is waiting for your press release unless, you're a big company and you have journalists following your every moves. But that's different. And if you are a company that communicates once in a while, you have a product launch once in a while, it's a very different way to communicate. But even if no one is waiting for your press release, you need one. This doesn't mean that your press release is useless. On the contrary, my PR friends, it's a very powerful tool because you need it to define your message, and because this is what public will be reading eventually. So you want media to know what's the message, what are the information, what are the facts that you want them to know. As I'd like to say, the press release is still today our number one PR tool, our number one tool. This is what we use every single day almost. I don't know how many press releases that we send in a week, certainly more than 10. But maybe you're like many of my clients and you are telling me, well, we do send press releases and nothing's happening. We've sent press releases and nothing's happening out there. No response. No one gets back to us. Well, there are reasons for that. First of all, I want to see your press release and how it's built and what's the title. And did you send it to the right, the real influencers, as I'd like to say, the good journalists? You would be surprised like how many press releases are sent out there that are so intricate, too complicated, too much information. They're not factual enough. So there's a phenomenon that I called forgotten press release. The syndrome of the forgotten press release, because some journalists receive so many of them. So how do you make sure they see your press release? Well, first of all, you have to think and put some thought in the title and make sure that the journalist you're sending it to is in your industry. If a friend tells you, well, I have a media list, so you can use mine. Well, be careful because if it's 2,000 contacts and they're not the good one. I always say it's better to send a press release to 5, 10, 15 top media that really write about your industry, your type of products, than sending out massively, because this is just annoying journalists on the other side. And this is why irrelevant information in a press release really dilutes the impact of your story too. So if it's a long press release, with full of adjectives, and you're talking about how your products is great and amazing, they don't want that. They want to know what it is, it's made of what are the elements. And the other very important thing is timing too. I'm going to talk about it in a podcast, because timing is not what you think. Can be very different from what you think, depending also on your industry and what's the goal. So who you send it to, the timing, and what's the information in your press release is so crucial. So for us at Nata PR, a press release is, first and foremost, it's a tool to help what clients want, to define and refine and simplify what clients want to say. What do they want to communicate? What do they want people to remember about them, their company, and their products? So often, my friend, we reshape the entire press release, and because their perception about the press release is so different from ours, of course, because they don't do that. It's our job to do it, of course. But honestly, this is something you can learn that I teach at the Nata PR school. But you would be surprised. Sometimes people come to us and they believe they know, even if I've been doing it for more than 25 years. When I founded Nata PR, the public relations agency, sometimes they think they know more than us, but that's another story. That's another team for a podcast. So a press release is not the place to tell, long story, the entire story of your company. No, it's there to define the news, finding the simplest and most compelling headline. So the title is crucial. And you have to select the most relevant information and really cut everything that's not necessary in this press release. So for a press release to be useful to journalists, it must be what? Clear, simple, and short as much as possible, not too long. And it also depends on many other factors. It's not mathematical, of course. It's not a science, but we've sent press release out so many times, so we know what works, really. So make sure it answers some essential questions. Let's go back to the basics. So answer those questions. What's the news? Why? How? When? Where? Who? Those famous questions, le who, what, where, when, why, and how. These are very simple questions, and it's a great start. And look at your answers. Where does it lead you? And make them super simple. And then, of course, this is exactly what we do. That's the technique I teach my employees. And then you can use ChatGPT or Claude or any other AI. This is what we do. So we write, the point form, the basic information. Then we ask our friend ChatGPT to help us suggest something, and then we rewrite it. We take it from them, and then we combine it to, some other information, or rewrite it, let it aside, change. This is how it goes so much faster when we do that, of course. And sometimes, they find some great way of simplifying our information. So to grab the attention of journalists and even influencers, it's also fun sometimes to have more information, like numbers. If you have statistics, I'm going to give you an example. A few years ago, we were working for this company making natural health products to help people sleep better. So we look from statistics to find out how many Americans had problems sleeping. This is a huge issue, actually. So we did some research. You can find those online, and you make sure to give the source of what you find, and you can put that in a press release. It's helping the journalist to write about your product because you're already doing part of the research there. So it's telling them, well, this is a product that's really helping people out there, and this is why. So this is useful, finding numbers, key figures, statistics, strong quotes as well. This can be really, really great. So a good press release gets straight to the point. It avoid, scientific language. It use easy, direct words, language, highlight key message. And everything has to be, from the title, super simple, then the first paragraph that explains your title. So you have to include accessible information, easy to understand. And don't forget at the end, so you need a great title at the beginning. And of course, don't forget your contact information. And prioritize pictures. I know people want to do video today with, Instagram, the Reels, and TikTok. They will look at the video, but they might not use it. So a great picture of your product, of your company might be more, you'll go way more further with a picture than with a video, really, even today. And don't forget that a well-crafted press release is much more likely to be picked up and turned into an article by a journalist. So remember this, a press release is a tool that makes journalists' jobs easier. this is why you created it. It's to make their life easier. So yes, no one is waiting for your press release, but you still need one. So if you have any questions, please reach out, nata@natapr.com. This is my email, nata@natapr.com. I answer all my emails. If you have questions about PR, I'm all in to teach you anything I can and to make you realize how powerful PR is. So that's my main objective with everything I'm doing at the Nata PR School. And hopefully you'll be listening to the next podcast. Talk to you soon. Dans 2 semaines. I used to say next week, but it's now every 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks. Hey, you want to learn more about how to implement PR strategies? Head on to natapr.com and get on our list. You will also receive the Nata PR model on how to create a successful PR campaign. If you want to become a client, just send us an email to nata@natapr.com. Talk to you next week. À la semaine prochaine.